Have you ever seen those giant stone heads staring out into the Pacific Ocean? Those are the moai of Easter Island, or Rapanui, one of the most remote inhabited islands on Earth. For centuries, this tiny dot of land has held a deep, dark secret. Who carved these colossal statues, and what happened to the civilization that created them? Today, we're going to unravel the dramatic history of Easter Island, a story of incredible achievement, ecological disaster, and human resilience. Let's travel back in time to somewhere around the year 1200. A small group of daring Polynesian voyagers, likely from the Gambier Islands or the Marquesas, navigated thousands of miles of open ocean in double-hull canoes. Imagine the courage that took. They arrived at a lush, subtropical paradise. The island was covered in dense forests, including a species of giant palm tree, perfect for building canoes, houses, and tools. The soil was fertile, and the seas were rich with fish. For these first settlers, the Rapanui people, this was paradise found. Life was good, and their population grew. As their society flourished, they developed a unique and complex culture. Central to this culture was an obsession with their ancestors. They believed their chiefs were descended from gods, and to honor them, they began carving the moai. These weren't just statues. They were embodiments of powerful ancestors, believed to watch over the villages and bring good fortune. The Rapanui people poured immense resources and energy into this monumental task. They quarried the volcanic tuff from a single volcano, Rano Raraku, carving these massive figures, some weighing up to 80 tons and standing over 30 feet tall. Think about it, they had no wheels, no cranes, no metal tools. How did they move them? Archaeologists believe they used a system of ropes, sledges, and possibly a walking technique, rocking the statues forward inch by inch, like moving a giant refrigerator. It was a testament to their incredible ingenuity and social organization. Hundreds of people would have been needed to move a single moai. Once moved, sometimes for miles, they were erected on ceremonial platforms called ahu. On top of their heads, they placed a piukau, a red scorious stone hat, symbolizing a topknot of hair. At its peak, the Rapanui society was thriving, with an estimated population of 15,000 to 20,000 people. The island was dotted with hundreds of these silent stone giants. But this golden age was not to last. The very thing that defined their culture, the creation of moai, sowed the seeds of their destruction. The demand for timber was insatiable. They needed wood for the ropes and sledges to move the statues, for fuel to cook, for canoes to fish, and for clearing land for agriculture. Slowly but surely, the island's magnificent palm forest began to disappear. As the last tree was cut down, sometime around the 1600s, the paradise of Rapanui turned into a barren wasteland. The consequences were catastrophic. Without trees, they could no longer build sturdy canoes for deep-sea fishing. Soil erosion became rampant, destroying their crops. The seabird populations, once a vital food source, vanished as their nesting grounds were destroyed. The island could no longer support its large population. What followed was a period of intense social collapse. Starvation led to warfare between clans. The oral traditions of the Rapanui people speak of a dark time of chaos and cannibalism. The very statues they had worshipped became symbols of their failure. In their anger and desperation, rival clans began to topple each other's moai, a period known as the Huri Moai. They were literally tearing down their own history. When the first European explorer, Dutch Admiral Jacob Rodeveen, arrived on Easter Sunday in 1722, giving the island its western name, he was baffled. He saw a treeless, desolate landscape inhabited by a few thousand impoverished people. Living amongst magnificent statues they clearly could no longer create or move. He couldn't reconcile the grandeur of the past with the misery of the present. He wrote in his log, describing the people as being of a sallow tint and very lean. The mystery of Easter Island was born, but the tragedy wasn't over. The 19th century brought even more devastation. Peruvian slave raiders descended on the island in the 1860s, kidnapping about half the remaining population, including the king and the elders who held the knowledge of their culture and the Rongo script, their unique system of writing which remains undeciphered to this day. Those who weren't killed by the brutal conditions of forced labor were eventually sent back, but they brought smallpox with them, which wiped out most of the few who were left. By 1877, only 111 Rapanui people remained on the island. A vibrant civilization had been brought to the absolute brink of extinction. So, is the story of Easter Island just a grim warning about environmental collapse? A tale of ecocide? For a long time, that was the prevailing theory. But recent research paints a more nuanced picture. While the Rapanui people did face an ecological crisis of their own making, they were also remarkably resilient. They adapted. They developed new agricultural techniques like stone gardens or lithic mulch to protect the soil and conserve moisture. They turned to eating rats when other food sources became scarce. They survived, against all odds. The ultimate collapse wasn't just caused by deforestation. It was the 1-2 punch of internal strife followed by the devastating impact of outside contact, disease, and slavery. Today, Easter Island is a territory of Chile. The Rapanui culture is experiencing a revival, and the descendants of those 111 survivors are working hard to preserve their language, traditions, and history. The island serves as a powerful living museum. The toppled moai, many of which have been re-erected by archaeologists, stand as silent witnesses to a complex and dramatic past. They remind us of the heights of human creativity and the depths of our capacity for self-destruction. The story of Rapanui isn't just a tale of doom. It's a story of survival, adaptation, and the enduring strength of the human spirit. It's a lesson carved in stone, a lesson for all of us about the delicate balance between culture, ambition, and the environment we all share. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey to one of the most mysterious places on Earth. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into history's greatest enigmas. Let me know in the comments what mystery you'd like us to explore next. Until then, stay curious,